Hey everybody, it's Cal here from Wise Guys Tutoring. So today we're going to be covering the Pythagorean Theorem. I'm just joking, it's a mouthful, so I'm just going to be saying Pythagoras throughout the video. But yeah, it has to do with right angle triangles. It's really important and very useful. So here we go. So let's say I have a right angle triangle, okay? It looks like this. Now right angle triangle, that just means that one of its angles is 90 degrees. Okay, let's pretend this is a nice straight triangle. I'm gonna call, there's three sides, right? So I'll call one A, the other one B, and I'll call this one C. Now A and B, these guys, we're gonna call them the legs of the triangle. Okay, and the most important guy is C. This guy is called the hypotenuse. I told you guys it's a mouthful around here. So the hypotenuse, this is Pythagoras's equation. Okay, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now what can I tell you about the hypotenuse is two things. Okay, it first of all is the longest side. It's no matter what, the longest side of a right angle triangle. Now sometimes that seems obvious and other times it won't be. And a better way to tell which one it is that it's opposite of the right angle. Okay? Look at that dashed line that I drew over there. It's opposite of the right angle. That means it's like in the face of. It's not one of the two sides that's creating the, or that's, you know, making this right angle. It's the other side. That's basically what I can tell you about the hypotenuse, and I'll give you an example of how Pythagoras is used. So let's take another triangle here. We'll put some values and see if we can calculate. Okay, so let's say again, this is my right angle over here in the corner. Let's say this side is 3 and this side is 4, and I'm wondering what is this side here. Okay, so according to the formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now we know that the hypotenuse is that longest side which is opposite of my right angle. We'll call that c. Okay, the other two guys, I'll just call them a and b. Those guys are interchangeable. It doesn't matter if you want to call that one b and that one a, you know, be my guest. It doesn't matter, it won't change anything. But the main thing is you got to get c correct. Okay, so you know, I'll change color just to make it, there you go. All right, B is purple. So what I'm going to do is substitute the values, right? So a squared, this one is 3 squared, and b squared, that just means 4 squared, and c squared is my hypotenuse that I'm looking for. So I'll solve these quickly. That's 9, right? And 4 squared, that's 16, and that gives me c squared. Now those guys on the left give me 25, making c squared equal to 25. Now how do I find c? You got to use the inverse of square, which is square root. Okay, left side gets jealous and he says, me too, me too, me too. So you got to give him a square root. So this square root cancels the square, and I'm left with just c there on the right side. And on the left side, square root of 25 is 5. And that's your answer. That's it. That's Pythagoras in a nutshell. What I'm going to do though, I'll check myself before I wreck myself. So I do a quick check. I'll just write the equation again. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? So I'll put the values in there again. I'll say 3 squared plus 4 squared. It's supposed to give me 5 squared. Is that true? 9 plus 16 equals 25. 25 equals 25. All good. Pythagoras will be happy. He'll be proud of you. Okay? So why don't I slip the answer in here? There you go. So c equals 5. This is a very common triangle, by the way, a very common right angle triangle, the 3, 4, 5. So as you can see, it's the longest side. Okay, let's do another example. There's one, you know, I don't want to say trick, but there's one other variation of this triangle problem, right angle Pythagoras problems, that might get you in trouble. When you know, I always want to take care of you guys and let you know any tricks that come. So let's say this is my triangle and this is the right angle. And let's say that this one is 13 and this side here is 5. Okay, and we're looking for this side. Fair enough? Good. Now which one's my hypotenuse? That's the first thing you got to do, is identify your hypotenuse. So we'll call this one C. Okay, and we'll call this one A, which is like unknown, and we'll call this one b, which is 5. So I'll rewrite my equation as I always do in case, I don't want to make any mistakes. So I always write the equation. You should do that too. Okay, so I'll substitute my values. A is just A because I don't know what that is, right? B is 5 squared. And C, my good old hypotenuse, is 13 squared. Okay, so A squared plus 25 equals 169. Now, how do I get A all alone? Well, I got to get rid of that 25. So I do minus 25, which is the inverse of plus 25. I do minus 25 on the right. Boom, this one is gone. Now I have A squared left on that side. And I have 169 minus 25, which is 144 on the right side. Now again, if you want to get rid of that square, you do the inverse operation, which is square root. This jealous side says, me too, me too, me too. And there you go. Square root cancels the square. I got A equals 12. Ta-da! And that's the answer. So I'll put that in there. And I just want to emphasize something. Why is this problem different than the one on the left? Well, in this one on the right, I've given you the hypotenuse. Okay? So a very common mistake that students will make, if they saw this triangle with a 5 given and a 13 given, will just automatically say, okay, well, 5 squared plus 13 squared equals that third side squared. But no, not at all. Okay? If you were to do this, then you would get a value for C, which is approximately 13.9. Okay? And this side is not possible. You know why? Because hypotenuse gotta be the longest side, guys. Right? This would mean that this vertical side here, one of the legs, is the longest side, and that's not possible. So what you need to do is recognize that A is not known, B is known, and so is the hypotenuse. And then you end up with this, A squared equals 13 squared minus 5 squared kind of thing. So don't just go rushing in and putting in any two numbers for A and B and making it equal the third side. The third side, the big guy, is the hypotenuse. Okay, that's basically it for Pythagorean theorem for Pythagoras. It's very useful, and you're gonna start recognizing some of the triangles, and I'll mention them again a little bit later in our other triangle videos. So thanks for watching. Hope that made it clear. Hope it was simple for you. If you have any suggestions, comments, as usual, please leave them for me. I'd love to get your feedback. And subscribe to the channel as usual so I can keep doing this as long as I can. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.